Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to Anthony, Texas, where Alpine Ladybug basketball is set to play their last district game of the 2026 season. Just a 4-hour jaunt up the road, and what may be the farthest district opponent for anybody on the basketball side of things. And we got news coming from next year's district realignment. We might have the farthest football trip with Grape Creek and Anthony. That should be about a 5-hour drive for a football district matchup. But it's also senior night here in Anthony, and I've forgotten that as I've gotten started here. So a few seniors to honor and celebrate. I think they have two of them as they'll come out onto the court and get their goodie boxes here. Again, in Anthony, Texas, right on the New Mexico border, as the Lady Bucks. I've set some goals for them. I'm sure Taryn Johnson has some goals. They're probably not the same. I'm hoping everybody scores today. I think everybody on this Lady Buck roster has a good chance of scoring a bucket from, everybody that touches the floor. That'll be a good goal for Alpine against an Anthony team that hasn't won a district game in the last 2 years in the district in basketball. Should be competing at the 2A level. But, again, Lady Bucks are going to be heavy favorites, but we'll send it through some advertisements as they get the Senior Day celebration started.
It's about staying safe online, finding balance at home, and having peace of mind with the technology you use every day. At BBT, we believe your internet should work for you. That's why we offer smart tools that help protect your network, manage screen time, and give you control, all backed by local support you can trust. Because healthy connections build stronger communities. Call 800-592-4781 or visit bigbend.com today.
Whether you're here to explore Big Bend, cheer on the Lobos, or just watch the West Texas sunset, Hampton Inn and Alpine is your home away from home. Wake up refreshed in a cozy bed. Enjoy our hot breakfast, always free. Just minutes from Sul Ross State University in downtown Alpine, we put comfort and convenience on the map. Hampton Inn and Alpine, where West Texas hospitality meets Hilton comfort. Book today at Hampton.com.
At Maverick Bank, we don't just bank, we break the mold. Bold, independent, and built for Texas. We make decisions locally with your goals in mind. Whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help you move forward. Visit www.maverick.bank or stop by your nearest location in Alpine, Fort Davis, or Presidio. Maverick Bank, legacy-driven, future-focused. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Enjoy the familiar comforts of Holiday Inn Express as you explore the mysterious beauties of West Texas. We offer spacious rooms with large bathrooms, complimentary breakfast that will spoil your taste buds, free Wi-Fi, fitness center, indoor pool, and even electric vehicle charging. Holiday Inn Express, your oasis in the desert in Alpine, Texas, 2004 East Highway 90. Call 432-837-9597.
We have news from back in Alpine. If you're looking forward to the baseball or softball scrimmages, both of them have been canceled. Again, baseball and softball back in Alpine have been canceled. We had, I guess, an inch of rain back home. And if you're listening on 98.7 FM, again, don't make your way out to the baseball field. That ball game has been canceled. Maybe to be rescheduled sometime later this week. But this is all we got going on. Alpine Lady Buck and Fighting Buck basketball on the road here at Anthony. The last district game for the girls of the 2026 season before they have the bi-district championship round early next week. Then the boys have one more district game on Friday at home against Kermit before they wrap up the 2026 regular season and head into a bi-district championship round. They're having some sort of technical difficulties here as well, getting the senior day going. And right as I say that, it gets underway. We're getting it started 17 minutes after the set start time of today's ball game. Shout out to the administration back in Alpine. We got senior day started and finished and got the tip right in time for the Lady Bucks a few days ago. Again, senior day for our boys will be later this week as it's time for the national anthem. We'll send it to a quick advertisement break here.
Stephanie from Dr. Seuss. I got a note, he's got a car, he's got a boat, and if we have time, can we give him a quote?
Of course we can, Renee, and we can do it today. And if he likes, a policy for his bikes or his home. Does he live in a dome? We can cover his travels if he likes to roam.
Well, we'll cover it all. I'll give him a call.
If it's insurance you need, call Tally Reed, 837-3459. You'll be fine here in Alpine.
At your local McCoys, they make purchasing materials for your do-it-yourself or large construction project as easy as possible. You choose between buying online or in the store, either picking it up in the store or having it delivered to the job site. At McCoys, they know your time is valuable, and their pros will make sure that your materials arrive at your home or job site on time so that you can get the job done and get on to the next one. McCoys, let's build something. Proud sponsors of Alpine ISD Sports.
Alpine Community Credit Union wants to thank Alpine and its residents for making Alpine such a terrific place to live by supporting its customers with the best professional and friendliest service in town. Federally insured, they can help you with loans, businesses, savings, or any banking need that you might have. Experience our beautiful clean lobby and that down-home professional small-town courtesy that you can only expect from, well, a small town. Alpine Community Credit Union.
Has joint pain been slowing you down, maybe for years? If you've participated in general orthopedic care, but it's finally time for a new knee or hip, Big Bend Regional Medical Center now offers total joint replacement procedures right here in Alpine. Board-certified orthopedic surgeon Dr. Daniel Vandaloon is pleased to partner with the hospital so patients can go through both surgery and rehabilitation while remaining close to home. For more information on the joint replacement program, visit us at bigbendhealth.com.
Well, folks, that national anthem rivaled the length of Charlie Puth on Super Bowl IX, about a minute 51 seconds for Charlie Puth. And that one a bit long as well. You know, they can choose the national anthems when you play them off the phone, and it's always interesting to see which ones they choose. I don't know if anybody vetted that one. Again, that one was real long as they announced the Ladybug starting lineup. I'm going to have the numbers like a bingo card on my roster page today, trying to check everybody off to get into the scoring category as Cato Castillo, Emery Mercado, Mackenzie De Leon, Aaliyah Fierro, and Andon Ramirez will start for Alpine in purple and gold here on the road. Again, they're about to announce Anthony, and they'll have a couple of seniors to announce in their lineup in Kaylin Soler and Giselle Castillo. Outside that, just 7 total players on this Anthony Wildcat roster. I think they go by Wildcats. And we're back in this Anthony gym. We've played a lot of ball games here in the last couple of years between volleyball and basketball, and the lighting is always funny here. It always messes with my eyes when I first step in the gym, and takes me a while to adjust. Maybe it's just because I drive 4 hours on the way up here, but again, it always feels a little bit off whenever I get into the gym. Is they have the banners and the balloons all over the gym. I like these little pom-poms they have inside the goals over on the near side. That's an interesting take for Anthony. And I'm not sure what they're doing. They're back in the tunnel. We'll recap how the Ladybucks have done so far in district play. They're coming off of a huge win against the team that will most likely win the district. I think Presidio plays Kermit tonight, and that will decide the district. If Kermit wins, then Kermit will take the district over Presidio, and vice versa. I think in Presidio tonight. The Ladybucks lost 3 district games, 1 to Presidio and 2 to Kermit. They opened district play with a 64-55 loss to Kermit at home. Then against Tornillo, a 55-22 win. Against Presidio, a 45-43 2-point loss that went right down to the wire. In Presidio, Anthony, they beat 84-3 last time around. I forgot about that. 84-3. We'll see if Anthony can get more on the scoreboard, as following that Anthony win, they lost to Kermit 47-41, then a 56-19 win against Tornillo on the road, and most recently that 38-34 low-scoring win against Presidio back in Alpine. As again, this is the last district game of the year, and the Lady Bucks most likely will be a 3 seed out of the district. I think they've already clinched the 3 seed, and that's solidified. Wow, it looks like we've listed a date for the playoffs. It shows that we're at Stanton on February 16th. I'll see if that's coincides. Yeah. It looks like our bi-district championship round is going to be against Stanton. That's the same team we played last year who knocked us out in Monahans. So on Monday, we play Stanton, who has a Sul Ross State University commit. Coley Madison was the big for Stanton last year, the true post player with the physical size and presence for Stanton. And again, she has since committed to Sul Ross State University, and we'll play them again in the second round, in the bi-district championship round in the playoffs up in Monahans. So that's big news for the Lady Bucks. And again, I've mentioned it before, that sister district is really good on the girls' side. Coahoma right now is the number 2 team in the state of Texas at the 3A level on the girls' basketball side. We'll see how Stanton has done in district plays. They, again, had finished the senior day celebrations, have announced the starting lineup for Anthony, and we're about to get going here in Anthony, Texas. So if you look around the district, wow. Stanton lost 64-19 against Coahoma. 49-34 against Lamesa, who I believe is the second place team in their district. Yeah, Coahoma just really ran through the district. They've got a great softball and women's basketball program, or girls basketball, up in Coahoma. As the lineups are on the floor, it's Andin Ramirez ready to go for the tip again. Aaliyah Fierro, Cato Castillo, Andin Ramirez, Mackenzie De Leon, and Emery Mercado on the floor for Alpine today. It's Anthony basketball, and a quick turnover for Mercado. Lobbed up the floor. Here's Cato Castillo. Driving high off the glass. Rebound tipped around, and Cato will put it out on the baseline. It'll give the ball to Anthony. As the guard, Brooklyn Camarillo takes it up the floor. There's a turnover and a steal, the second of the ball game. Aaliyah Fierro wide open in transition, too strong off the glass. The rebound tipped around. Caro battle for it, sends it across the lane for Andin Ramirez, who had that big ball game against Presidio a few days ago. So we'll check off Andin on the roster as having scored today. Again, I think everybody's going to get a bucket. Here's Anthony driving baseline, puts it up, and a whistle and a foul against Mackenzie. It'll be 2 free throws for Giselle Castillo, the senior. As Coach Taryn Johnson talks to Aaliyah. Shout out to the parents who made it up here. I see Hugh Morrissey up here. He said he had family in the area. I was pretty surprised. He made that journey. Here's a missed free throw. 0 for 2 at the line is Anthony. It's a rebound for Mercado. Mercado to Andin. Andin to Cato. Cato to Fierro. Another transition layup missed as that ball pops out on the perimeter, and Anthony will take the ball up the floor. Again, 2 points in the ball game for Andin Ramirez. As Anthony takes it past the timeline. Another takeaway off the knee of Fierro. It's Caro wide open in transition, and she'll get her first points of the game. Camarillo driving. Oh, wow. No look. The hook shot from the 5'2" guard off the glass and in. And Anthony, who scored 3 points in the entire ball game against Alpine last time around, already has 2 in a 4-2 game. Here's Andon across to Aaliyah. Aaliyah to Caro. Caro wide open for the mid-range look. And she sinks it to make it 6-2 Alpine. Four points for Castillo as a mass exodus comes on the bench. It'll be 5 changes as Andon forces the current turnover. Up the floor to Caro. Caro shakes around the post defender of Anthony, has an offensive rebound on a missed shot, and will shoot 2 free throws. Again, only 7 players on this Anthony roster. As again, Alpine goes with 5 changes, 4 before. Oh no, it's a foul on the floor, so they will take Cotto off and have all 5. It's Shannon Tamale, Jenna Vega, Jillian Morrissey, Neve Carrasco, and Isabella Shelton as Isabella inbounds to Neve. They swing it. Now Isabella down low. Space to put it off the glass and in. 2 points for Shelton. Lobbed up the floor through the hands of the wing. Anthony has turned it over on every possession except for the one they scored on as we lob it up the floor, and Tamale has the transition look and the finish. 10-2 Alpine. That's the freshman Shannon, who started the year on JV. Has seen some good minutes lately. A drive and a missed shot for the guard, Camarillo, as we'll lob it up the floor. It's a transition look for now Vega. Tamale sends it across the lane, and Vega puts it up and in. 5 players have scored now for Alpine. Anthony just trying to have this possession without turning the ball over, but I can't finish the sentence before Tamale rips it away and comes up the floor for an easy look. 14-2. Skip pass to the corner. Anthony driving baseline. Sends it to the middle of the lane, right for Morrissey. Morrissey has Tamale, who's up the floor and finishes at the rim. Shannon has 6 points since coming on. Here's Anthony. Anthony in white as they send it across the key, and a takeaway for Tamale. She has 8 points. That's where she scores most of her points, is in transition. 18-2. It was 4-2. Now it's 18-2 as Alpine will go with 3 changes. Andon Ramirez, Cato Castillo, and Leah Struthers. As Camarillo has the inbound pass. Tries to make a move past Cato. Too strong on the ball. Dribbles into a couple of Lady Bucks who tie up Camarillo and force a jump ball. It'll be Lady Buck basketball. 18-2 with 3:38 to go in the first quarter. Again, we're live on YouTube at Big Bend Radio and live 98.7 FM back in town. 12:40 a.m. Our AM signal goes a little further as Caro has the jump shot. Catch and shoot from the wing. Won't go. It's Struthers with the rebound. Kicks out to Caro, and Caro is fouled on the 6-footer. 2 free throws for Castillo. Cotto, the senior, off the front side of the rim. The rebound comes and hits Giselle Castillo in the head. Line up on the floor as they go with the change. Melanie checks in for Anthony. Again, Brooklyn Camarillo, the point guard. Vita has checked in off the bench as Cotto goes 0 for 2 at the line. Giselle Castillo, Angelique Guerrero, That makes up everybody. There's a takeaway for Cotto at the key. That bounces off the official. It's still in play. Lobbed up the floor for Andon, who finishes 20-2. Here's Camarillo. As Anthony drives down the right side, we'll tip it out of bounds on the sideline. Again, I brought it up to Martin at the radio station. I think for softball district play, instead of traveling to Anthony, we're going to do one of those games against either Permian or Fort Stockton on the road in the middle of district play, as Cotto has it on the wing. Sends it for Neve. Neve outlets to Caro. Now a skip pass to the corner. They work it for Andon. Or catch and shoot three off the mark. A rebound for Jillian. No good on the putback. And the Wildcats have the rebound, sending it up the floor for Camarillo. A takeaway, no. Camarillo works past Jillian, gets to the lane, sends it out wide. That shot off the mark. And the rebound tipped off of Melanie on the baseline. No, that was Giselle Castillo. Lady Bucks will go with 3 new faces off the bench. Again, if you've just tuned in, the bi-district championship round is going to be a matchup against Stanton for Alpine. That's on Monday of next week. The same team that knocked us out last year, and they have a Sul Ross State commit at center in Coley Madison. As Aaliyah sends it across for Cotto. 20-2 Alpine, 2:10 remaining. Long two for Tamale is off the mark. Rebounded by Anthony and tipped out of bounds. Again, just 5 players have scored for Alpine. Tamale has 8. Andon has 4. Castillo has 4. Shelton has 2, and Vega has 2. Takeaway for Cotto. She sends it up the floor. Neve one-on-one for Camarillo. Neve fouled, and she gets it to go. The size advantage there, and Brooklyn really just kind of left the lane. Here's the free throw for Neve off the front side of the rim. Rebound tipped out to Anthony on the outside. They pass it up the floor and out on the sideline as they miss their mark on the wing for Melanie. Cotto trapped behind the timeline. She picked up her dribble, outlets the floor, up the floor to Tamale. Tamale to Shelton on the inside. Her shot won't go. And the Wildcats battle for the rebound. Here's Camarillo at the 1:10 mark in the first quarter. 22-2, Alpine on top. A runner for Camarillo off the glass, no good, and Shelton has the rebound. Sends it across for Tamale, tipped and taken by Anthony. They drive, put the shot off the front side of the rim. Offensive rebound and a foul on the floor against the Lady Bucks. Alpine has committed 2 total fouls. Anthony has committed 3 at the 1-minute mark. Anthony lobs it over the top for Camarillo. Driving, and she'll lose the ball on the baseline. Guarded there by Aaliyah Fierro. Here's Cotto up the floor to Neve. Her shot from the nail. Off the heel, an offensive rebound for Shelton. A putback off the mark, and Anthony has the rebound as they race up the floor. Tamale will tip the ball towards the Wildcat bench. Shout out last time we had Houston Davis from KALP doing this game back in Alpine with us. That was his first ball game on the radio. I think that's an interesting first ball game. If he ever makes a career out of it, he can say that my first game was an 84-3 girls basketball game. As the Lady Bucks have a takeaway up the floor to Neve. She runs up, puts it off the glass and in. 4 points for Carrasco, and it's 24-2. Brooklyn took the three, sensing the buzzer, took it about 3 or 4 seconds too early, but it airballs on the baseline. The Lady Bucks will have it. 0.9 seconds, and Aaliyah Fierro eats the clock to send us to the second quarter. We'll send a brief intermission your way here at Big Bend Radio. Again, 24-2, Alpine on top.
Lowe's Market traces its history to E.M. Bud Lowe, who sold candy and sundries from the back of his truck in Littlefield, Texas in the 1940s. In 1964, Bob opened the first Lowe's Market, a small grocery store in Olton, Texas. Since then, Lowe's has expanded into small and medium-sized towns and cities throughout Texas and New Mexico. When Lowe's makes an investment in a community, they also make a commitment to serve the community with the highest quality and selection, along with fair pricing. Lowe's, your family grocery store.
SOS has many meanings, but it means big savings this month at Morrison's True Value Hardware store. As a February bargain of the month, Morrison's has their big 18-count box of SOS steel wool soap pads at just $3.79. If you'll be needing a new hose nozzle, grab one that's built to last. A Green Thumb all-brass 4-inch nozzle with adjustable spray. It's sale priced at just $5.99 at your C.G. Morrison family of stores.
After the break, the lineup on the floor for Alpine is Jillian Morrissey, the sophomore, Andon Ramirez, a sophomore, Emery Mercado, a junior, Jenna Vega, a junior, and Neve Carrasco, the senior. 24-2. Alpine sends it on the right side. No, it's Anthony with the ball. Driving baseline, the ball tipped out of bounds by Alpine. That inbound pass tipped, a battle for the ball on the sideline. Anthony will work it out of a double team and slow things down, passing it back up top. Here's the shot off the mark. Untouched by Alpine, and it'll be Lady Buck basketball inbounding and coming up the floor. Two Lady Bucks on the floor that still need to score today, Jillian and Emery. As that is a takeaway at the key, they'll lob it up in transition off the front side of the rim. Jenna Vega has the rebound. Sends it up the floor for Andon. Lady Bucks have, a 4-on-2 right now. Jillian now inside to Neve. Neve blocked, saves it back in bounds from Mercado. Her shot off the front side of the rim. Mercado an offensive rebound. Shot off the heel. Neve the rebound, who puts it back up and in. 26-2. Here's Anthony at the timeline. That was Angelique Guerrero, a junior. Back to Angelique. They have their pocket picked. Send a mid-range shot off the front side of the rim. And it's Mercado with another rebound, who outlets to Jillian. Just over her head, too strong. And Anthony will have the ball back. Here's Anthony sending it across. Quick shot there. Won't go. And Jillian takes away the rebound. She's coming up the floor. It's a 4-on-1 Alpine to Emery Mercado. Off the glass, no good. And the rebound off of Anthony on the baseline. At the 6:11 mark in the second quarter. Lady Bucks will go with a few substitutes on the floor now. Leah Struthers, Shannon Tamale, Isabella Shetland, Emery Mercado, Jenna Vega, and there's a shot from Struthers off the heel. Mercado battles for the rebound, puts it back up. That's off the front side of the rim, and the Wildcats take down the board this time. At the 5:55 mark, it's 26-2 Alpine. 18-2 at the 4-minute mark in the first quarter before Coach Taryn Johnson took the gas off. The set's off of Struthers on the side. Takeaway now for Alpine. And Tamale had outlets to try and get a transition look, but again, she slows down into a half-court offense. Pass out on the wing. Almost brought my camera down. Here's the Wildcats now. Here's Angelique Guerrero past the timeline. Pass out on the wing, taken away by Vega. She hands off to Mercado, back to Vega, who handles the ball up the floor. Sends it wide for Tamale. Here's Vega inside to Emery. Power dribble off the glass and in. Emery Mercado on the scoreboard now. Now we're waiting on Leah Struthers, Mackenzie De Leon, Aaliyah Fierro, and Jillian Morrissey. And then we'll have everybody on the scoreboard. Pass on the wing, a takeaway by, no, it's back in the hands of Anthony as they send it up to the key. Driving inside, a handoff, shot off the glass is in. 2 points there for Kaylin Soler to make it 28-2. No, 28-4. Pass to Struthers now. Struthers working off the ball screen. Mid-range shot is good. Leah Struthers on the scoreboard. Everybody on the floor has scored for Alpine, 30-4. As they'll lose the ball into the corner, and Leah Struthers picks it up. It's up the floor to Shelton. Shelton to Tamale. Tamale to Mercado. Mercado has to save it in on the baseline. They'll say she stepped on that baseline. Fierro and Mackenzie De Leon check in. And again, those are the only two to score, or only two that haven't scored, outside of Morrissey, who's also on the floor. Cotto tips it up towards the official on the pass across the key. As Anthony takes it past the timeline at the 3:30 mark in the second quarter, 30-4. Lady Bucks in the zone look as that mid-range shot is off the front side of the rim. A battle for the rebound. It'll be a jump ball with Alpine taking it up the floor. Here's Jillian. Sends it across for Leah. Inside now, Mackenzie. She outlets to Jillian. Jillian inside to Fierro. Skip pass now to Leah is batted out on the baseline. Inbound pass finds Jillian, and she'll shoot a couple free throws. I think we're going to get there. I think everybody's going to score, maybe even in the first half. Jillian makes the free throw. Again, she has her first points of the ball game. Now we're just waiting on Mackenzie and Aaliyah. That's off the heel. Anthony with the rebound, loses it into the hands of another Wildcat and Angelique Guerrero. Here's the Wildcats. Driving down the right side, has the pass or has the ball tipped out of their hands. One-on-one action. Number 1, Leah Struthers against Angelique Guerrero. Number 1 for Anthony. As Anthony will keep the basketball and inbound from the side. Angelique sends it in. I don't know what the Wildcat player was doing, but she bent over and the ball went right over her head as we give it up the floor. It's Jillian across the lane for McKenzie, and McKenzie puts it up and in. Only player that hasn't scored for Alpine is Aaliyah Fierro. That was another look where Jillian could have attacked the basket easily in transition, but decided to slow things down and find a slashing big in Mackenzie De Leon. As that long two is airballed, finds its way out to the wing, and Anthony will grab the ball with the foot on the baseline at the 2:14 mark, 33-4. We're going to get there, folks. Aaliyah is definitely going to score. There's Jillian driving. Her shot too strong. Fierro has the rebound. Brings it out wide up top to Castillo. They give it off to Jillian. Jillian tries the 3 ball. Leah Struthers has the rebound. Triple teamed inside. Gives it to Fierro. Fierro up top. Sends it to Caro. Caro saves it in front of the logo, keeping the Lady Bucks from getting a backcourt violation. Now Mackenzie De Leon, a shot from the nail. Off the mark, and Anthony has the rebound. Sends it over, and Jillian called for the foul. At the 138 mark, 33-4, Alpine on top. I think Alpine went with some changes there. Maybe not. Cotto, the takeaway, gives it off to Andon, and Andon brings it out on the outside. Here's Fierro. Catch and shoot. The 3 ball is good. Everybody has scored for Alpine in the first half. Every player that's dressed out today. Fierro solidifies it with that 3. It's 36-4. That's a shot from the elbow, and it falls. The Wildcats have hit a couple of shots. Maybe not the typical intensity that you see on the defensive side from Alpine. Is Angelique Guerrero hit that shot 36-6. Cotto gives it to Fierro. Swing pass to Andon. Long 2 is off the front side of the rim. Cotto with the rebound. Finds McKenzie. Power dribble, goes up through some contact. No good. Mercado to put back off the mark. Now Cotto tries to go up, has it ripped out of her hands. Anthony, the takeaway, sends it up the floor right into the hands of Andon Ramirez. 20 seconds on the clock. 36-6. Castillo in the wing. Just 2 fouls called in this second quarter. There were 5 total in the first. Andon sends it to McKenzie in the lane. She puts it high. Couple of bounces off the rim. Won't go. Aaliyah at the 2-second mark. Kick out to Andon. The 3 ball at the buzzer is good. Alpine will take a 39-6 lead into the halftime break, and we'll take an intermission here at Big Bend Radio. Hey, we're back here in the second half. Again, Lady Bucks on top. 39-6. Everybody has scored for Alpine. That's everybody that's stressed out today. I think we could potentially throw Colette in the ball game, have her just stand under the basket on the offensive side, and she'd have a point after a few minutes. As we'll go through the top scores here. Shannon Tamale has 3. Neve Carrasco has 6. Andon Ramirez has 4. Aaliyah Fierro has 3. Also with 4 points is Carlo Castillo. And everybody else has either 2 or 1 point to their name. Again, Lady Bucks on top. 39-6. The ball game's back in Alpine. We had a couple of early season ball games scheduled for our baseball and softball teams. Both of them has been canceled due to the rain that came in. So just basketball going on today. A whole lot of home sports this week, though. We've got Sul Ross basketball at home on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's just Thursday and Friday. I think that's the case. It's Thursday for both the girls and guys teams in conference play against Western New Mexico. On Saturday, Sul Ross will host. No, I'm sorry. On Friday, Sul Ross men's basketball will host Western New Mexico in a non-conference game. Then Sul Ross softball has home games on both Friday and Sunday, with Sul Ross baseball hosting a top 5 team nationally in Angelo State in a 4-game series starting on Friday. So a whole lot of home sports in town as the Lady Bucks have the rebound. It's Neve out to Isabella as Alpine outlets the ball up the floor to Vega. It's Vega to Morrissey, and a nice finish for Jillian at the bucket. (41-6). Wildcats to the middle of the lane. A takeaway there for Vega. She gives it to Morrissey, and Morrissey up the floor. Transition look and a foul. Had just 2 fouls in the second quarter and an early one here in the third. That'll slow things down. I don't think the Bucks have a sleeper bus. In fact, I know that they don't have the sleeper buses with the seats that go flat, but you almost wish they had them today as Jillian makes the free throw. 4 points for Morrissey. And it'll stay at 4. She goes 1 of 2 at the line. Offensive rebound for Neve. She hands off to Morrissey. Shot off the mark. Isabel Shelton with a putback to make it 44-6. Wildcat basketball. Here's Brooklyn Camarillo. Here in Anthony, Texas, just over the border of New Mexico. As that pass is into the legs of Jillian. Jillian up the floor, one-on-one with Brooklyn. Off the underside of the basket, won't go. Offensive rebound. As they'll call Jillian having her foot on the baseline. Again, towards the tail end of that first half, Alpine was taking it outside of the three-point line and slowing things down to a half-court set even when they had the transition looks. Looks like their foot's back on the gas at the start of this second half. There's a takeaway from Morrissey as she anticipated the pass up top, and she's tied up by Brooklyn Camarillo. A whistle and a foul. The first team foul. No, the second committed by Anthony here. Neve sends it to a cutting Shelton, who puts it off the glass. No good. Neve an offensive rebound, and they work it out to the freshman Tamale. Tamale to Jillian. 3 straight away. Won't go, and Neve stepped on the baseline, and she went and tried to save that back in bounds to a Lady Buck. The Struthers, Cato Castillo, and Andon Ramirez check in. I was hoping that Andon, or at least her family, bought a lottery ticket after the night she had the other day against Presidio. But Andon is still here. They're not in the Maldives somewhere. So I'm guessing that they did not win the lottery, as Andon has a takeaway. She sends it up the floor for Jillian. Jillian, a transition lay, makes it 46-6. Wildcat basketball at the 5:40 mark. They send it in. It's tipped by Cotto to Jillian. Jillian back to Castillo. Castillo, right hand finish off the glass, no good. A whistle and a foul as she's bumped from behind. 46-6 at the 5:30 mark in the third quarter. As the senior will shoot two. Castillo makes the first. She's got 5 today. And the second off on the left side. Another offensive rebound for Neve on a missed free throw. She hands off to Jillian. Jillian's mid-range off the mark. She has a strong rebound. Works it across, and Struthers with a long two makes it 49-6 Alpine. Struthers has hit the long shots as Carlo ties up Anthony on the wing. A jump ball, and it'll be Alpine basketball at the 5-minute mark. The other day I was talking during the Tornillo ball game that Tornillo could use just a couple of decent shooters to help stretch the floor, and they have enough talent otherwise that I think they could start giving teams a run for their money, just not a lot of shooting prowess. Seriously, you stick even Leah Struthers coming up from JV, getting some varsity reps on that Tornillo team. She shoots, she hits some shots, she forces the defense to go out on the wing, and I think Tornillo starts to look a little bit better, just a couple of shooters away from being a good contest for Alpine. As Neve Carrasco is at the line, she makes the first, 50-6. Misses the second. Anthony has committed 4 fouls this quarter. Lady Bucks have not committed any. Here's the Wildcats. Camarillo sends it. Baseline, high off the glass, no good. Offensive rebound for the Wildcats. Spot up, mid-range shot. It's off the mark for Giselle Castillo. Here's Alpine up the floor. Leah finds a cutting Neve. Neve off the glass and in. Neve has 8 points today. It's tied for the most on the team with Shannon Tamale. They drive, lose the ball into the hands of Neve. Neve up the floor for Cotto. Cotto across the lane, left-handed finish. Really nice by Andon Ramirez. A player in between her and the basket, but still had the finger roll up off the glass and in. She's good with the left hand in transition. You could see the reps she's put in the gym in the past. Here's Camarillo. Driving, nothing there, and sends it back out wide to Angeli Guerrero. Angeli racing around the wing. Now baseline, the shot won't go. Call the rebound, up the floor to Andon. Andon, a 1-on-2, slows things down. A handoff to Castillo. Has a wide open lane to drive it up and in. Cato Castillo has 7. Here's Guerrero. A couple of Guerreros on this team, one freshman, one junior, both in the starting lineup today. Guerrero from the middle of the lane, and that's off the mark. That's the junior Angelique Guerrero, number 1. Her sister, a freshman, number 3. Not on the floor right now. And that won't go. For Angelique. Some changes on the floor. A whole lot of changes. Angelique makes the second, 7 points in the ball game for Anthony as a team. 56-7, Alpine on top. Here's Aaliyah Fierro at the 250. She's doubled in a timeout from Coach Taryn Johnson. I think that's our first timeout of the game from either team, a 30-second timeout at that. And it was just an uncomfortable position for Aaliyah Fierro, a double right in front of the timeline, right on the sideline, a nice trap for Anthony. And it forced Coach Taryn Johnson to take the timeout. $56-7. Everybody has scored today. It'll be Lady Buck basketball again after the timeout. I'm curious what the Lady Bucks eat. Fighting Bucks eat when they come up here to El Paso. It's Shelton inside out to Tamale. Tamale hands off to Fierro. Her mid-range shot the front side of the rim. Shannon, the offensive rebound, puts it off the front side of the rim. No good. And Isabella Shelton has the putback. Shelton has 6 points today. You can pick about anything in the world when you come up to El Paso as far as eating. I still think the kids are probably picking Raising Cane's. Here's the Wildcats driving down the left side. Sends it inside, a takeaway by Neve. She was my defensive player of the game against Presidio the other day. Catch and shoot for Fierro off the front side of the rim. Wildcats now send it across after the takeaway. Neve, no look, spin around, pass up to Caro. Caro to the lane for Neve, who puts it up and in. Neve's our first player in double figures with 10. $60-7. They dribble right into the shin of Calo Castillo. She takes it up the floor, had an outlet for the rim, but again slows down into a half-court set. We'll swing it to Fierro. Fierro passes up the 3, gives it inside to Shelton, who puts it up and in. 8 points for Isabella. At the 1 minute mark in the third quarter. Brooklyn Camarillo tries it. Right on line, shot off the mark though. High rise rebound for Neve. Cotto now. Up the floor, Fierro across for Shelton, who puts it off the glass and in. Isabella has 10. The Wildcats, I'd say they don't have an answer for, but they don't have a lot of answers, as that's off the glass, no good. Tamale the rebound. They'll send it up the floor for Aaliyah, who wasn't looking back. At the 17-second mark, it'll be Wildcat basketball. The Lady Bucks haven't been pressing as much. Really, the turnovers that Anthony has committed in this third quarter have been unforced, as we see an unforced turnover on a pass to the baseline over everybody's head. 3 seconds. We'll see if we put a shot up. Shannon Tamale at the buzzer off the front side of the rim. And we're headed to the fourth quarter of action. 64-7, Lady Bucks on top.
Do you need better internet in West Texas? Mountain Zone TV delivers reliable wireless broadband with no credit checks and no contracts. Whether you're streaming, working from home, or running a local business, Mountain Zone TV is built for rural living. Proudly serving Fort Davis, Marathon, Marfa, and Presidio with fast, dependable local service. Mountain Zone TV, connecting West Texas. Call them up at 432-837-2300.
Skinner's Drilling and Well Service offers everything you need when it comes to solar well pump system installation and maintenance. Whether you're looking to cut electricity costs or need solar power in an area where electricity is not readily available, Skinner's Drilling and Well Service has some solar options that you'll want to consider. By the way, these systems are upgradable over time. Call Skinner's Drilling and Well Service, LLC at 837-2497, Texas license number 2838A1.
This is an Anthony team that has one win listed on Max Preps. That was a win shown as a forfeit, 0-0 the score as they, I guess, El Paso homeschools decide to forfeit their ball game rather than play Anthony. Other than that, have kept it within they've kept it within 10 just one time in a 36-24 loss against Harmony Science Academy. I was about to say, I'd like to see this team win a game. It'd be cool to see a team that's kind of evenly matched with Anthony. They play against each other. It'd be an exciting, different brand of basketball as Jillian Morrissey gets the takeaway and comes up the floor and finishes. Still a lot of folks here on senior day dressed in red and blue for the girls as that interior pass is taken away by Nove. We got a boys game coming up right after this against an Anthony team that is much improved after last season as Emery Mercado's shot won't go. I say much improved. They had a decent basketball team last year, the Wildcats, but lost their best player who really carried the load for that team, but again, have put together a good roster and a competitive roster this year. We'll look at the Anthony boys schedule here. Interior pass, a takeaway there by Mercado. She rises above Brooklyn, and now a foul against Anthony as they're running clock here at the 6-minute mark in the fourth quarter, 68-7. And nobody, I think they've agreed to run the clock. So again, it ticks down as we go with the substitutes, and that takes 30 seconds off. So we'll be at that boys game faster than you think. Here's a mid-range shot from Vega off the mark. Rebound off of Anthony on the baseline. The Anthony boys have a 2-20 record listed on Max Preps. But it's a team that back in Alpine lost just 52-42. They beat Tornillo 43-42. We beat Tornillo by 1 on the road on the boys' side as Emery Mercado will shoot a pair of free throws with the clock running. Mercado makes the first. Second, short off the front side of the rim, and the Wildcats have the rebound. Here's Brooklyn. She'll try 3 straight away. Off the glass, no good. She's probably one of the better shooters on this team, too. Just has to distribute the ball at that point guard position, runs the offense. Again, they try and get some semblance of what? Some semblance of order to their game. Still try and bring it up the floor, run a motion offense, look for the interior passes. Even though I think maybe a player like Brooklyn bringing it up the floor and driving and shooting might be a little bit more effective. That wouldn't be a good brand of basketball for the girls to learn, as Emery Mercado has it on the inside. The assist from Shelton and the bucket for Mercado makes it 71-7. Here are the Wildcats. Send it to the corner. Brooklyn tries the corner three and gets it to go. Brooklyn Camarillo, about 5'2", but again, one of the best basketball players on this Anthony team. I'd really like to know how that Kermit Presidio game is going to end up. I think they're about to start right now back in Alpine at 6:30. I'm sorry, back in Presidio. Here's Isabella Shelton driving. She goes off the underside of the backboard, and Anthony takes the rebound down at the 2:48 mark. Man, they've been running the clock this whole fourth quarter, but it still feels like it's taken a long time. Isabella Shelton with the takeaway, hands it off to Shannon Tamale. Not a lot of pressure today, but Shannon's looks better taking care of the basketball as a freshman, as Vega's shot is off the mark. Rebound inside. She's just rolling around with the ball on the floor. Outlets on the baseline where it's out off of Angelique Guerrero. And again, they're running clock. Here's Shelton up top. Leah Struther spots up the three-pointer. No good. And Shannon Tamale, the rebound. Back up and in for the freshman. She's got 10 now. Here's Brooklyn. Brooklyn takes the three straight away. And Tamale has the rebound as it kicks back up to the nail. The 125 mark, it's the freshman past the timeline to Shelton. It's tipped back out to Vega now. She'll drive baseline, floater no good. Offensive rebound, put back won't fall for Mercado as we'll tie up. And a jump ball forced with Alpine keeping the basketball at the 1 minute mark. Mercado into Shelton. Back to Mercado underneath. Inside out to Tamale, cutting inside. They'll give it to Vega. Vega the three straight away. That's just short. Shelton the rebound. And she's fouled. Well, with 40 seconds on the clock and they're running it. Okay, they're going to say a non-shooting foul. It's on the floor. I was about to say if Shelton got 2 free throws, the clock might go to 0 before she shot both of them. Now she'll get a couple of free throws at the 25-second mark. And, yeah, we're going to have this buzzer sound before she takes the second free throw. 73-10. I wonder if they'll let her take the second one. She hits the first. 5 seconds. 4, 3. Yeah, they let her take it. She misses, and that's our ball game. 74-10. Ladybucks win here on the road at Anthony. We'll sign things off at Big Bend Radio before returning for the boys' games here in about 15 minutes up in Anthony, Texas.
When West